Ishita Kishore is with us on the campus of IIPA. She has secured All India Rank 1 in Civil Service Examination 2022. Ishita, I welcome you and congratulate you. I am sure you have made yourself, your parents, your family proud of you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, thank you. And tell us about yourself, how you started the journey for civil service examination.
So while I was working in the corporate sector, I started evaluating what should be my long-term career plan and what kind of a career do I want to cultivate over the next few decades. And that's when I felt that a sense of purpose would be very important. And civil services is a platform that gives tremendous opportunities along with responsibilities. So that's when I left my job and started preparing for this exam.
On the other day, the Prime Minister addressed the civil servant and he said the difference between the corporate sector, the multinational, and the government job is that one does, even if you become CEO as a job, and when you join the civil service, you are rendering the service. And that is the difference. How do you see this?
Yes, sir, absolutely. I think it is very precisely put up by the Prime Minister that service to the nation is paramount and foremost in the civil services. And this was visible during the COVID era also, the 2 years with unprecedented challenges when all civil servants became frontline warriors and they were catering to the demands of the people. So that reflected the kind of responsibility that they had on their shoulders for the betterment and development of the country.
In the civil service examination, many people have anxiety how to start and what optional has to be the suitable for them. So how do you select your optional and what were the factors you considered to select this optional paper?
Yes, sir, there is some inertia related to the optional paper, and it's very important to optimize our options. So, since I was coming from an economics background, I have done my graduation in economics from Shriram College of Commerce. Economics seemed like a good option for me. But when I further evaluated the syllabus of all the subjects, I felt that political science and international relations gives me a platform where I can fully express my ideas about contemporary issues. So I played on my strengths, sir, and I did that SWOT analysis for myself. And in that journey, I felt PSIR would be the best choice for me. So it's very important to retain that originality in the process of deciding what is the best optional for oneself.
And I have seen that optional plays a crucial role in determining your rank, which is very important. So you choose the PSIR, and if I correctly understood, it helps you in GS1. I mean, other general study papers also. Is that the correct understanding?
Yes, sir. Initially, it felt like the PSIR syllabus was extremely vast, the longest syllabus in the optionals. But when I started seeing the kind of overlap it had with the GS papers, whether it was world history or society in GS1, or constitution and international relations in GS2, or even the political thinkers in GS4, I felt that political science provided me that launchpad to really integrate my ideas across the other papers. So, this was the added advantage that I had with PSIR.
Though UPSC says it's in two-stage exam, but practically it's three-stage exam: preliminary, main, and then of course personality test. So how you prepare yourself, because UPSC exam is very different from many other competitive exam. So the imperatives in terms of dedication, allocation of time, the precision of your study are very different. So how did you align yourself to meet the demand of UPSC?
Yes, sir, as you rightly put that this is a three-stage exam and each stage is equally crucial and requires a completely different mindset to strategize what will be our approach. So for the preliminary stage, I felt that a vast set of information in terms of facts, data in some areas and application of mind in areas like economics and science and technology would be important. So I tried working on those skills using the previous year questions, and this took me some time, around 3 to 6 months, to just cover up the reading material and also analyze the previous year questions. When it comes to the mains exam, it's a lot about expressing our ideas and integrating the ideas and the contemporary issues with relevant examples of what is going on. So this took a lot of improvement in my articulation skills, and I really worked on that using various books, analyzing how authors think, how these editorials are written, how they are integrating completely different things in the world. For example, how we can link Gandhi's idea of democracy with J.S. Mill's idea of democracy. So that kind of an analytical thinking is something I worked on for mains. And for interview, sir, I think that there is a very short period of time in which you have to quickly convey your ideas. So that is the quickness and the speed of response is something that I worked on. So I tried doing that with a lot of practice and by a lot of reading, so that I had the right words and the right knowledge to quickly showcase to the interviewer.
Let us start with the preliminary because that
Yes,
is the
sir.
foundation kind
Yes,
of
sir.
thing. What you take the importance of the GS1 paper in preliminary and the CSET?
Yes, sir. I think having good general awareness is, of course, important in the first paper, that is GS1. But at the same time, we should also try to remember that we have to deduce the answers over there, and application of mind and analytical mind is very important. So, I would suggest to all the aspirants that please try to increase your presence of mind, stamina for 2 hours entirely in the GS1 paper. As far as CSAT is concerned, yes, sir, it is a qualifying paper, but its difficulty level is significantly increasing, especially over the last 3 to 4 years. This reflects that the government needs people who have good managerial aptitude and who will be able to quickly take decisions on ground and simulate the different facts that are thrown at them. So this reflects the decision making skills of the future civil servants. So I would suggest to them that do not take it casually. It might sound like it is a qualifying paper, but you really need to put in the hours for CSAT as well now.
You rightly said, because it's a kind of alertness and precision, because out of 80 question in CSET, if you make 27 correct answer without making any incorrect choice, you can still make it. If you secure higher marks in CSET, you are not rewarded in any way.
Yes.
What is your advice on this aspect?
So I think people, and including myself, because I did not clear prelims 2 times in a row. So what I have understood, that knowledge and preparation is one thing. It gives you the solid foundation on which you can go to the examination hall. But performance is equally important. On the final day, you should be ready to perform. You should not get consumed by anxiety or stress, or not get scared when you see a question you have never heard about. It's a lot about your personality test in the preliminary examination also. That's what I always keep telling people, that apart from your academic journey, UPSC examination in all stages is equally a personality and an emotional test. So please stay strong on that front also.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was your third attempt. So obviously you must have done very differently in third attempt compared to your previous. What were 2, 3 things you did differently?
So, of course, over 3 years, my knowledge base had naturally increased and I had better revision of the same ideas. But this time, I tried to categorize the previous year questions entirely. I took the last 10 years paper and dissected it for myself. So, this would be a very personal journey for every aspirant, that you try to find those 20 to 30 questions which you feel are easy for you to understand. You should not make any mistakes in those questions. These are unforgivable mistakes.
Okay.
After that, you should find some questions that might be easy but a little bit analytical. So you need to increase your presence of mind in them. And lastly, there will be some questions that are difficult. So it's okay to get some questions wrong also. So don't get scared. So I tried to dissect all 10, 11 papers of last year in these categories. So when I finally went to the examination hall, I was better able to recognize what question was thrown at me. And this is how the personality part was integrated into the academic knowledge.
Coming to the main exam, there are 7 paper which count towards your merit. Now, in those 7, the coefficient of variation in GS4 and SA in particular is much higher compared to the coefficient of variation. That means the degree
Yes,
of
sir.
diversity in the marks in GS1, 2, and 3. This piece of information, there are 2 corollary that follow from here.
Okay.
A, why it happens, and how the future candidate can leverage this to their advantage.
Yes, sir, there is a coefficient of variation, and until last year, I was also analyzing it. So, firstly, it's very important to identify that there is a coefficient of variation in certain papers like essay, ethics, and sometimes even optional. That is why these decisions at the earlier stage are extremely important and must be well thought of. When it comes to essay, sir, again, I feel that this essay is a personality test. This is a kind of conversation that you are having with the reader. So you have to keep the reader engaged with yourself. You have to completely explain your ideas to the reader and have a logical flow of thought. So, because when we write our own ideas, we just assume that these three things are linked, so the reader will also understand. But simplicity is the ultimate sophistication over here, and that is what would help you. Coming to ethics paper, sir, I always tell people that it's not important to refer to external coaching material or examples of other people. What's most important is to firstly start with self awareness. You can always use examples from your own life when it comes to issues like honesty, integrity, probity, procedural integrity. These are certain things that in the last 20 to 22 years or 25 years of your existence, somewhere you must have noticed something in some Bollywood actor or some politician. So try to internalize examples from your own life. This will make your paper unique and this will help you capitalize on the coefficient of variation.
Candidate is normally expected to write about 4,000 words in 180 minutes.
Yes,
That means
sir.
on average, he or she has to write 23 words per minute, including thinking time. How do you summarize or capitulate the answer, and do you prepare that small anecdote in advance, or the conclusion of a particular question about 25 to 30 words in advance, so that it can fit into the key words of the syllabus?
Yes, sir. While prelims is an exam where performance is more important, mains is an exam where preparation is extremely important. We have to integrate our ideas beforehand. We must have pre-thought of many issues of the keywords in the syllabus, because the syllabus is well detailed and explained in a number of words. So each keyword can be thought of in advance, and certain personal ideas of scholars can be prepared in advance, because sitting over there, sir, as you said, the time is very less. Personally, I felt that there was no time to lift my pen up also, because my paper, I would not complete my paper then. So somewhere it's about your muscle memory then. How quickly, what do you have on your fingertips that you can quickly throw at the examiner? This is why revision becomes extremely important. Don't increase your material. Have a limited set of material. Try to use the same material across different topics. So I used to sit with one example. For example, it is digital India. It can be used in infrastructure also, digital infrastructure. It can be used in inclusion also. It can be used in society also. And I can also showcase how it is changing our culture. So you sit with one idea and you try to integrate it across the papers. That will reduce your material, and then you can manage your material, revise it, it will become your muscle memory, and you can quickly write it over there.
This is a big challenge for many candidates. Now, coming to very certain specific question. Now we have the Panch Pran,
Yes,
which
sir.
one of the Panch Pran is that you become a developed nation by 2047. Now you will be at the helm of affairs in that year,
Yes,
to
sir.
24, 25 years down the line. What role you can play and what measures are required to make India a developed country by 2047?
Yes, sir. There is the dream of making India a developed country by 2047, and it is commendable how this Panch Pran has now become a Jan Andolan. People across the country are thinking about how they can contribute. I've seen it in my friends how they are inspired to start to have their startups and to increase their business presence. Personally, sir, as an administrator at the helm of service in 2047, I hope to achieve that the last mile delivery of public services ensures the inclusion of the Antyodaya in our development story. It should not be that our growth is concentrated. It should not be a growth that is jobless. It should create good quality jobs, and it should ensure a minimum standard of living for everyone in terms of health, education, human development. So I hope every girl and every child in every village has the opportunity that I had in the last 2 to 3 years.
Now let us talk about the personality test, which is the last stage of the examination of UPSC. And by looking at your performance, you have implicitly revealed your positive things, your strength in terms of your demeanor, your personality, your perseverance, your dedication. Can you just tell 2, 3 weaknesses you think you have in you?
Yes, sir. In this journey of the personality test, I really wanted to have a journey of self-awareness, to genuinely find out what are my weaknesses, and I spent 2 to 3 months continuously every day on it. First weakness I identified, sir, was that I had inculcated a habit of comparing myself to others. And I felt that reducing this habit will make me not just a more productive person, but also more true to my own journey. So while it's important to be aware about what are the opportunities in society, what our peers are doing, it's always important to look inwards. That is one, sir. Another weakness I felt was in the journey of civil services, external validation is something that we find very, very less, because we have to stick to the exam. I did not clear prelims twice, but I was still putting in the hours. There was no recognition of my work. But still, to continue working when no one is clapping for you, when no one is cheering for you, to silently sit in your room and toil when the world sleeps, is something that I learned. And I learned to distance myself from external validation.
That's very interesting. So, which is one pleasure giving activity you gave up during your preparation, 3, 4 years, I'm sure.
Sir, I think I have a very extroverted personality and I love to socialize and to meet new people constantly and make new friends. But this was a little isolating journey where I had to spend more time with myself and I had to spend proportionately more time alone. So this was one challenge, and my social life was something that I had to curtail to some extent.
It's a dream to become topper of the civil service examination. What you getting some kind of vibration or your intuition? Yes, this year I'm going to be among the topper.
So I think since the last 4 years, the constant belief and the only paper on my study table was AIR 1. And I did not clear prelims, and I felt like a fool that, I'm aiming to be AIR 1 and I can barely clear the preliminary qualifying stage. And this happened 2 years in a row. So the third time I cleared prelims, I was okay with it, that I'm okay with whatever was going to happen. But yes, the ambition was always to be rank 1. And I don't know how the universe put everything together. Of course, it was a little bit delayed. It took 4 years to do that. But what I wrote on my table on the first day of preparation 4 years ago came true.
Whole universe conspired you to see that your dream come true. Now on UPSC, many people say that it's a little unpredictable. So when you enter the interview board, you had certain expectation, you got as per expectation, or there were some kind of off the track and you which you never anticipated that this question could also be asked.
So I think there is a maturity graph of UPSC itself. So when I started my preparation for interview, I felt that randomness and unpredictability is there. But in 3 months of preparation, I realized that this is just an academic and a professional conversation about who I am and what I want to do and everything that's going on around me. If I know about it, I will tell, and if I don't know about it, I will be honest. So when I entered the interview board, of course, there was some nervousness,
Yes, okay.
but I tried to stay as calm and as composed and have maximum presence of mind, so that I can give my 100%. It doesn't matter what others are doing, what others are saying. I should just be able to give my 100%. And the interview board was extremely cordial, and they really welcomed me and made me comfortable. Even the questions were on lines of everything that one would expect. They asked me about global warming, India-China issues. They asked me about the Pradhan Pati system. They also asked me about the coaching industry and the level of scientific development in India and why we are lagging behind. So these were issues that I was constantly reading about. And I felt that it was a really good conversation with senior bureaucrats.
When you came out of the interview board, what were your thoughts? Because I'm just connecting the starting point 4 years ago. You said AIR 1. Now, after because your journey was complete, only the dice was cast, only the result was to be announced.
Yes, sir.
So you felt that you are going to make it.
So I felt that my mains had gone well. Even though this was my first mains, I knew that I had made absolutely no errors and no mistakes from my side, from what I had planned and anticipated. So I was confident about my mains marks. And sir, people often put undue pressure on the interview, even though it is a small portion. So I always tell people that focus on your written exam. That
Absolutely.
is 1750
The-
marks. An interview is only 275 marks. So maximum work is already done. An interview went well. Again, I made no mistakes from my side. Everything that I had planned to do, I did. So I was confident about making it to the list, but I didn't know about which rank.
It's fair enough. Now, before we let you go, just quick questions. What makes you angry and what makes you happy?
Sir, I feel happy the most when I'm able to give my best to whatever I set my eyes on, even if it is my dance classes in the evening. I have a goal, so I want to fulfill that to the utmost level of my expectations. So that really makes me happy, and I was very happy after my mains exam and my interview also, because whatever I had planned, I was able to follow through on that. So what would make me angry? Over the last few years, I've really tried to work on my temperament and staying calm and reducing my reactions, but it's natural to feel angry. And I feel angry when, I don't know, sir, over small things, or when I'm not understood correctly by my family, or they're not able to understand why I'm doing something or why I feel strongly about something. So I sit and I keep telling them, no, this is really important for me.
And what best gift anybody has given to you so far, which you value a lot?
Sir, I think my best gift has been the values and the value system, because even in the morning today, I received a long message from one of my distant relatives about how the position I am now in requires an equal amount of responsibility and how I should always stay grounded. So I think I have a huge family and they keep on telling me, randomly messaging me. So that really helps me in containing my thoughts and having purity in intentions in whatever I do. So, my best gift in life has been my elders who are constantly guiding me and who are constantly wishing the best for me.
Thank you very much, Ishita. It's a wonderful talking to you. I am sure your future aspirant will find this extremely useful.
Thank you.
And all the best to you.
Thank you so much.